Coach, we'll get us started, and then we'll open it up for questions.
Listen, effort was there. Execution wasn't. We're going to be talking about the same things in here. It's, third down performance on both sides of the ball. I think their average, they were just under 4 yards on their third down conversion attempts in terms of their yards to gain. I think we were right around 8 yards. That's not going to be a winning formula. That's about first and second down efficiency. I felt like we got a good start offensively that way. I think that first scoring drive, we didn't have a third down on it. We need to see more of that. But on the whole, we got to clean our game up. We had a missed opportunity on the short field there, on the missed field goal. And then the end-to-half sequence was frustrating. And both the interception, which, again, there's going to be times where the quarterback needs to try to fit a ball in a tight window, and we're trying to at least get 3 in that drive, maybe 7, to make it one possession going into half. Obviously, on the return possession there, to give up 2 chunk plays off the bat is really disappointing defensively. I felt the same way at the end of the game. We're looking for the 2-point conversion there to get within one score strike. Obviously, we came up short, but expecting the run coming back out, expecting to force an early third down and get the ball back, and we were just, I think they went 2 plays, 70 yards in 2 plays. So how do we become a more consistent team? How do we capitalize on some of the positive things we did when identity showed up today, when you saw what it looks like when we possess the ball? And obviously we can be explosive offensively. I think it doesn't matter who we're playing against. We have good players, young, talented people that are showing up. I thought there were aspects of Ken's game today where he really controlled it at the quarterback position. You saw him making checks and killing plays, and those are things we can build on. We're just disappointed with the result, and we'll never accept anything other than winning here. So we got to take the learning. We got to maximize this bye week. We got to get healthy. We got to get rejuvenated, and again, take some of the positive strides we've made to apply them forward and have a great four-game finish this season. With that, I'm happy to open up.
Third downs issue this week, issue last week. You hit on some of it with being 3rd and 8 on average. Were there any other factors in there, maybe that were common denominators with last week?
I need to look at the tape before I make any broad statements that way. I thought, a couple times they found some space on us, and you're in between defensively, sometimes playing man and playing zone, and where are the matchups and how do we best protect that. We wanted to make them drive the entire field today. I felt like we did that. I think the idea that we're forcing field goals in the red zone, that's a part of the strategy. So I think we did a nice job of keeping the ball in front of us and forcing them the length of the field at times. But I'll have to look and see more about the execution, and obviously they had the scramble too. Some of that's going to be rush lane integrity. We'll check it out. Offensively, I think it just becomes getting into manageable third downs, third down avoidance first, and then 3rd and 4 or less. And again, when you look at our 8 yards average yards to gain, 2 of our conversion down attempts were inside of 4 yards. That's just not, that's not going to be, that's not where we are right now as a program. And so first and second down efficiency, one of those was a 3rd and 2 that became a 3rd and 7 because of procedural penalty. That kind of showed up again today. We just got to clean it up.
Do you think Ken Seals has done enough to remain the starter?
Really pleased with Ken. I think he did a great job managing the game today. There's going to be improvements to be made. Certainly not at this podium ready to make any statement about where we go moving forward. We'll take the bye week and kind of reassess and kind of see what's best for us through the finish.
Do you have an update on CJ Taylor?
CJ, is first of all, I want to just tip my cap to him for a gutsy performance, and he's a guy that stepped up in a big moment, made a big play. We're going to get him imaged, and I'll have more information the start of this next week. Right now, it's just anything I would say, we're just unsure. But hopefully, he'll be back with us, and we just got to wait on the images to know.
After that one play where he tipped it and thought
Yeah.
his hands under, you were pretty adamant with the refs about something. Was it about that replay or was it about something else?
Well, yeah, I guess it was the play. It was how the play was ruled. It was the mechanics into the replay, and it's just fighting for every blade of grass, and we'll look at that play. I mean, I thought it was a really remarkable job. I didn't get a great look at it on the board, and so I want to be careful not to go any further than that. But part of my responsibility is to fight for my team, and that's what in that moment, that's what I'm doing.
That first drive, you guys get the sack fumble, and then they scored touchdowns on 3 out of their next 4. What do you think changed there defensively for you guys? Where I don't know if you didn't execute as well, or what do you think happened?
Robbie, I'll have to look at the film, not to punt the question. I just the sack fumble was great. God, there are these flashes of things coming together for us. I just don't remember specifically. I think there was they had a 3rd and 3. I remember on the second possession and kind of across the 50 where they were able to sneak a rush in. It was an explosive run play against our subgroup. I think we look at that and we say, play that out of base and expect a run there. That was one to me that stands out. And then, they were able to establish rhythm on the other one. I don't remember specifics. We'll look at it as we go through the weekend.
What went into the decision to elect to kick there with Borchella early in the first quarter?
Well, we had reached that threshold that we put him out there on, and it was a conversation because the wind was also in play. I thought he hit it well, just didn't have enough leg on it. But at that point, we'd scored. We're just trying to build points, and I forget exactly the yards to gain on that one, but it may have been 6 or 7. It's just a chance to score points, and obviously, if you it's woulda, coulda, shoulda, and none of that matters. But you look at the way the end of the game played out, aside from the 2-play 70-yard possession there. That 3 points would have been really nice to have as we were entering those late sequences. So that was the decision. And on the next one, we just felt a little bit, or the one in the second half, we felt a little bit like it was do or die time as far as scoring touchdowns, and we needed to go. And we were able to come up with a conversion there to Will Shepherd. So.
How would you assess Ken's performance? Obviously, he had that interception late in the second quarter that gave Georgia a touchdown heading into the halftime break. But overall, how would you say he played today?
I thought he played well. I thought he made good decisions. I thought he got us into good plays. I thought that first drive we had was, you want to be able to play keep away. We haven't been able to get our run game going, and so we need to be able to stretch the box out in hopes that we can get it going, and that's a really good rush defense. So his ability to check plays, to get the ball into the open space. Obviously, we ripped the explosive there for a touchdown. I thought it was really good. From there, one of the things when you play methodically, which truthfully I thought, Robbie, back to your question on those touchdowns, I thought they did a nice job with their tempo. And I thought that at times put a little pressure on us in some of those scoring drives. But both teams were trying to optimize the time of possession, and so your possessions become few and far between. And so sometimes it's hard to establish rhythm. But I did think in the second half we bounced back. Obviously, got the field goal on their first possession. We responded with a touchdown. I believe that we outscored them in the second half. So I mean, in terms of Ken's performance outside the interception, there was some positive things that we can build on, and we need to. I thought the slant throw to Richie there to start the fourth quarter was a great moment for him and for Richie. There's things to build on from there.
You guys are at about allowing 500 or so yards a game in the last 3 games. I know it's points, not yards for you guys, but with the 2 weeks here, is there any consideration of changing defensive play callers?
That's not where I am with it. I think we're going to look at less about what play is called, more about how that play is executed. And that's not also to say that there aren't coaching elements to that too. In fact, I think there were elements today where we executed at a higher level, and we were able to keep the ball in front of us against a good offense. And then there were some pretty significant lapses and breakdowns in execution in moments that, be it the end of the first half or be it that final score for them, those 2 rushing plays where who's on the field, how we've taught them through the week, how they're seeing it cleanly in those moments. Those are critical moments, and for us to not have it all the way is frustrating, and I'm frustrated with it. So my attention is going to be put on not creating new defenses and not even swapping out, anything operationally. It's about how do we teach and how do we learn it to a point where we're taking the space early in the down and we're playing with confidence. We've got a lot of young players on that field, and we've, exacerbated our depth in the secondary, right? So we have to continue to grow those guys and get them snap exposure in practice. And in the long run, all those things will pay dividends for us. Right now, we got to work our way through it. Go ahead.
No desire to celebrate a moral victory, so to speak, but as 2-time national champs, number 1 team in the country, y'all were a good bit more competitive with them this time than the last 2 times. Is there anything you could take from that? Is that encouraging in any way? The fact that you're 2-point conversion away from it being a 1-score game in the fourth quarter?
Yeah. No. In terms of how I feel right now, and again, we're here to win, and that's the end of that statement. We're here to win. Now, I do know we have a better team than we've had, and I said that in the summer, right? Our margins are razor thin, and against a team like that, those margins tighten even further. I think as you look at this 8-game stretch, we won 2 games early as the better team, but I think we were rewarded for play that wasn't going to be consistent enough for us to have success. We go to Wake, we drop a game where we turn the ball over. I think it was 10 points off turnovers, one for a touchdown, and a critical moment there in a game where I felt like we matched up okay, and then we go to UNLV, and again, that 3-game stretch, Wake, UNLV, and Kentucky, the 9 turnovers, the 4 for a touchdown, it can be disorienting because you start to look at the team and question some of those things that to be true. And I think we've settled back in. Obviously, we with the injury to AJ, we made a change at quarterback, and to Ken's credit, he's settled in. I think everything's starting to settle for us, and what I'm seeing that excites me is that we have young players that can play and make big plays. And it's been fun to see them emerge. But all that to say to you, Gentry, I think there's a good team in there that needs to learn to play in a manner that gives us a chance to win games. And that means we're capturing margins. That means we're executing in conversion downs. And we can do that. So let's just keep progressing forward and keep on the climb. And, we're disappointed right now, not discouraged. Let's use this bye week the best we can and keep charging at it. And I'm excited to do that.
As your attitude heading towards the bye week, and what are you hoping to get out of it?
Well, we need to get hopefully as recovered physically as we can. This has been starting in week 0. This has been eight challenging games where if you guys go back to fall camp, these. We started with soft tissue injuries right in the first week of fall camp. And so it feels like all of this has just been this lag effect And so it'll be nice to catch our breath. Obviously, we held DeRicky out today. I'm excited to see what a couple weeks for him off his ankle will do. The goal is to get healthy. Now, we can't just put our operation on the shelf, so we're going to use the week to also get snaps exposure for our young players and do some scrimmaging that way, and set a course for the week when we come back. But certainly the focus will be on recovering. Our guys are just getting through midterms. It's fall break next week, and so there's a mental recovery, there's a physical recovery, there's an emotional recovery that needs to happen, and we're going to give them a chance to get home too, which will be nice for them. But all of it to say, can we play our best football in these final 4 games? That'll be our focus, and I'm excited to do that.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
Thanks.